In physics, we talk about scalars and vectors as quantities. But what's the difference? That's what we're going to talk about today. I'm Ben. This is Physics or Bust. When we talk about scalar quantities, what we're talking about are quantities that don't have a direction, that it doesn't make sense to have a direction with them. So things like mass. When we talk about 25 kilograms, it wouldn't make sense to say it has 25 kilograms north. But when we talk about vectors, we're talking about amounts that have a quantity and a direction. So for instance, we can say 25 miles per hour north. That would make sense as a velocity. When you just say the 25 miles per hour, you're saying a speed, which is just a scalar quantity. But once you add that direction to it, 25 miles per hour north, 25 miles per hour south, it becomes a vector because it has direction to it. We also have distance and displacement. Distance would just be 5 miles, 25 feet, 5 centimeters. But when you add direction to them, say one of them's south, one of them's north, one of them's west, or even just 25 degrees north of west, you don't have to have them directly one way or another. As long as they have a direction to them, it becomes displacement. Then that makes them a vector. So when we look at what quantities are scalars, we have mass, we have weight, we have temperature, whether it's in degrees Celsius, degrees Fahrenheit, or Kelvin, they're all going to be scalars. Time is also a scalar, as well as distance and speed. There's other scalars also. That's not an inclusive list of everything that's a scalar, but just a general concept of what's there. When we look at vectors, we have things like displacement, that is distance with a direction. We have velocity, that's a speed with direction. We have acceleration, as long as you have the acceleration with a direction, that is a vector quantity. We have forces, right? You can say just the size of the force, but that doesn't make it a vector. Putting the direction with that force tells you that it's a vector. Now, whenever a force is applied, it's a vector quantity, but if you just say someone pushed with 25 newtons, you haven't given enough information for the full vector. You've just given the scalar information. If all the quantities you're dealing with are scalar, then the math that you're going to do with them is just regular math. But when you start having vectors played into the math that you need to do, you'll need to do vector addition, vector subtraction, or some of the other operations dealing with just vectors. If you're interested in vector operations, go ahead and click into this playlist right here, and that'll take you through a few videos dealing with how to deal mathematically with vectors. Remember to like and subscribe, and remember, keep asking questions. I'll see you on the next video.